Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Seduce Me the Otome. This is McBirdie, and we are currently trying to find the maniacal rabid killer squirrel toy that Matthew had made for me earlier, and apparently it's messing with us, and it broke the lights. So let's see what this little butt muncher is trying to do to us, okay? Ah! Who turned out the lights? I gripped to the nearby counter, not wanting to hit anything or fall in the darkness. There were no windows, so the room was almost completely pitch black. I could hear skittering across the floor, like a rat rushing to escape with its cheese in its mouth. I instantly jumped in fear before suddenly being pushed to the ground.
Ah! Watch out!
I felt myself hit the ground with a body over top of me. Two hands were slammed beside my head into the tile floor, stopping the person above me from crushing me.
Hey, are you okay?
This always happens in romantic comedies, doesn't it? Right before they kiss, right? Yeah. Matthew? Yeah, I am. I stared up at Matthew, letting the situation sink in. We were looking for a doll, and now we were on the ground. In pitch black, and you can't even see anything. What broke my thoughts was a flash of gold running across Matthew's eyes. I could feel heat radiate from his body, but the air was tense, and his body was almost shaky. Matthew, are you okay?
I
heard him gulp, answering my question. He wasn't okay. I could tell, but he wasn't moving. Matthew?
Sorry.
Soon, a golden glow covered Matthew's eyes. I expected to feel warmth in my body from an upcoming spell, but I felt nothing. Something was wrong.
I need you to push me off.
Oh, this is getting awkward. From the sound of his voice, he was desperate to get up and off of me. Why couldn't he move, though? Then it hit me. Matthew, do you need energy?
I do. But
Matthew shut his eyes to try hide his golden gaze from me. He didn't want to take my energy. Why? Was he ashamed to? Kiss him or push him off? Well, what's the point of playing this game unless I kiss him? If he needed energy, I was willing to give it. 'Cause I'm a slut. I gently grabbed Matthew's face and tilted his head to angle with mine, leaning in closer to him. I brought my face and lips up to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. Matthew didn't move, nor did I feel energy drain from me. I opened my eyes and saw Matthew staring wide-eyed at me, but unmoving. He was unsure of what to do, and I had silenced him in confusion. I pulled away and spoke. I want to give you some of my energy. You've used a lot of it, and I'm sure that the energy you took from me was only used for healing. Let me help you.
I don't.
Matthew, if you don't want my energy, just tell me, but I'm offering it to you if you do. All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up as Matthew wrapped an arm around my body and pulled my body tighter to his. Matthew grew a lustful gaze before bringing a hand up to cup the back of my neck. He grew a lustful gaze. It didn't just appear on his face. He grew it like a man grows a beard. Woo! We're finally showing a kissing scene! Yes! This is what we've all been waiting for, ladies and gents. Before I knew it, Matthew pulled me into a gentle but passionate kiss. Heat erupted through my body as his kiss slowly and almost timidly got deeper. Matthew kept an arm around my waist while I rested my hands on his chest. The energy from my body was slowly draining in the kiss, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in the situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. I bet you are, girl. Matthew was full of surprises. As childish as he definitely was proving to be a man while he was kissing me. He's proven that he's a man. Matthew wasn't forceful, but his kiss was deep and passionate, and it felt almost magical. It was how I imagined the first kiss to be like, except with energy drain. Duh. Soon, though, the energy drain stopped, and Matthew gently pulled his face away to end the kiss. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I'd forgotten how to breathe. Matthew moved a strand of hair from my face to behind my ear, eyes still full of desire. Matthew stared silently at me, unsure of what to say. However, I could tell that he was full, yet yearning. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give anymore. Well, we're gonna stop it there. I gently pushed Matthew back, smiling tiredly. Let's stop here. I'm getting a little dizzy. Matthew instantly nodded, a glaze of guilt running across his eyes as he examined me for fatigue.
Are you okay? I didn't take too much, did I?
I giggled softly before lifting my finger to his lips, hushing him. I then smiled. It was my choice, Matthew. I wanted to help. Matthew stared at me before nodding with a very small smile.
Thank you.
Matthew quickly stood up and helped me stand. I gently leaned back on my feet, feeling slightly wobbly. As I felt my body lean back, Matthew quickly held me to him to balance me.
Whoa, you look really pale. Are you okay?
I couldn't even respond back. Weakness poured over me. I gripped onto him, trying to find my core balance once again, but I remained almost limp against Matthew's chest. Matthew let out a sigh before lifting me up and carrying me up to my room. As he gently laid me on my bed, covering me with my blankets, as I looked up at him, he brushed a strand of hair from my face to the side. I felt weak and felt like closing my eyes, so I did. I let myself fall back into the darkness of sleep, knowing I was safe and comfy in my bed. Matthew lingered in my dreams, reminding me of the kiss we shared. I felt happy. I felt relaxed. I was going to sleep for a good while. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly that next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked to my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be lucky today. Karma owed me some luck. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
Jeez, Suzu, you're so bossy. I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time, 6:30. Perfect, I can eat some breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and bacon sitting on the table. A fresh steaming cup of coffee sat next to the plate with the sugar and creamer on the side. I walked to the table and couldn't believe what I was seeing. Who made this? As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention. Have a good day. Yours. My heart skipped a beat as I finished. I could tell it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from him? I smiled before putting the note in my bag and eating up. The food was so delicious. I devoured every amazing bite. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand. Huh? I turned to see Matthew, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face.
My name.
Your name?
My true name isn't Matthew. I want you to know my real name. If something were to happen.
Okay. His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? I remembered reading about a demon's name from the journal I read yesterday. If you knew a demon's true name, you could summon them to you no matter where you were or where they were. Matthew gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Zekeru.
As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. Matthew pulled away and smiled at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I stared up at Matthew, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. Matthew smiled before releasing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework and the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. As I walked towards Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite sides of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward. Whoa, ow!
Hey, are you okay?
Who did that?
The three of us looked back to see Lisette and her gaggle of girls. Lisette had a look of complete innocence while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow.
Why, you little...
Suzu, don't!
I felt a giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lisette. Today was not the only time this had happened to me. However, it was now clear who was behind these incidents. Even if she was innocent and one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lisette was a mastermind just from the look on her face. She was no friend, nor would she ever be. I had to do something. Get her? Whatever, just walk away. No. I wasn't going to bring myself to her level. She was a bully, but I was not going to let her get to me. I had to be stronger than her, and only then would I have beaten her. I stood up and brushed myself off, pretending nothing had happened.
Anderson, you okay?
That was a pretty bad fall.
Yeah, I'm fine. A fall like that is nothing. I merely smiled at them, not wanting to let them know the pain rushing through my body from the fall. My arms were quaking. My shoulders were pulsing, but I remained content-faced. Content-faced, okay? I quickly gathered up my belongings and nodded to my two friends. Come on, we'll be late for history. Suzu and Naomi looked at each other before frowning and nodding to me. Naomi and Suzu flanked me as we began to walk to class away from the gaggle of bullies. As we walked, I could barely see Suzu flipping the middle finger to the group behind us from the corner of my eye.
Friggin' bunch of Lisette feet lickers.
That's gross, Suzu.
Feet lickers. That's a good one, Suzu.
It's true. It's all OMG! Lisette is the best! Let's follow her around because we obviously don't have lives.
Ooh. Naomi and I could not help but laugh. The group behind us, however, did not like Suzu's words.
At least my dad doesn't screw around in the black market to keep a stupid casino running.
Suzu stopped. Naomi and I stopped as well to look back at Suzu, who was completely red in anger. Suzu slowly turned to head to the group, glaring daggers at them.
The fuck did you just say?
I had to act fast. I placed my hand on Suzu's shoulder and gripped tightly, knowing she could try to push my hand away. Suzu, they're not worth it. Let's just go.
No, I think it's about time we taught them some manners.
Suzu!
I looked at Lisette and her group. Lisette had a widely amused smile on her face, which irked me to no end. Nevertheless, I knew that fighting wasn't going to get us anywhere. Let's go. I grabbed Suzu by the shoulder roughly, pulling her back to Naomi and me. Suzu tried to step towards the group, but Naomi held onto her other shoulder. We held onto Suzu, who fought against our hands as we marched to class. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. Okay, and I'm going to end the video right there. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a comment below and leave a like as well. And if you want to keep up to date with more videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more content for you every day. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye!